Hey everyone, in today's Brawl Stars video we're going to be making another tier list. This time, instead of ranking the game modes from S to F tier, we're going to be ranking the actual environments inside of Brawl Stars from S to F. So things like the Gem Grab Mine, Mortis's Mortuary, the Brawl Ball Stadium. We're going to be ranking all of those from S to F tier, so hopefully you enjoy it, and as always leave some comments below for some more tier list ideas, as well as some ideas for my Brawl Stars challenge series. I'd be interested to do some more videos on both of those topics, so please let me know in the comments below what you guys want to see. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first one here is the desert from 3v3, so this is used on maps like Snake Prairie in Bounty, and for me that is going into the C tier. It's a pretty average, it's alright, it's not the best, it's not the worst, but I think that the desert theme sort of suits Showdown a bit more than 3v3. Next up we have the arcade, one of the newest environments inside of Brawl Stars, and that is used in Gem Grab at the moment, and that is going in the S tier. The arcade, it's a really cool environment. I love the aesthetic of it, it looks really cool, and the music in the background as well while you're playing games in the arcade is really awesome, and for me that is one of the best environments inside of Brawl Stars. Next up we have the beach environment. This is used on some Brawl Ball maps and Bounty maps, things like that, and for me that's going into the A tier. It's a really nice summer sort of environment and theme. I really like how it looks, but it's not quite into the S tier for me, but it's still above average. Okay, next up is the like the temple bounty theme. It's not actually used in the game anymore. There's no maps currently that use it, but when it was in the game it was pretty cool, and for me that is going into the B tier. Okay, so next up's the regular Brawl Ball environment, and that is also going into the B tier. It's pretty cool, but it sort of looks a bit aged now. We've had it in the game for quite a while. It's all got quite boring, especially since we now have some beach Brawl Ball maps, and we also have stadium Brawl Ball maps as well. It's sort of the worst out of the three that are used in Brawl Ball, which is why for me it's going into the B tier. Okay, next up we have Daryl's Ship, and for me that is going into the A tier. There's not really much to fault with Daryl's Ship. It's a really cool environment. It's got some nice animations on the edge with like the sides of the boat coming up, but the only thing for me that stops me putting this into the S tier is the water animation around the edge. I think that completely ruins the environment. It looks pretty bad, and I just really don't like the water there. I don't know if you agree with me, let me know in the comments. Okay, the next one is Mortis's Mortuary for 3v3. Currently this is just using Gem Grab, and this is going into the S tier for me. I think Mortis's Mortuary really suits the Gem Grab mode, and all of the details along the side. We've got the Frank DJ on the left. I think it's just super cool, and for me it's going into the S tier. Okay, next up we have the regular old Gem Grab Mine, and despite it being one of the original environments, it's going into the A tier. I think it looks really cool. I really like the purple glowing gems and everything, and I think it just really suits the game, especially as they've updated it in the last update as well. They've added in sort of the Jackie's area in the bottom, and it's just really cool in my opinion. Okay, next up's the town environment with Lunar New Year decorations, and that's going into the A tier. So during the Lunar New Year event in 2019, the new town environment that was introduced also had Lunar New Year decorations for like the couple of weeks that the Lunar New Year event was going on, and I think that looked really cool, and that is going into the A tier. Next up is Ball's Diner and the Retropolis update environment, and for me that's also going into the A tier. I think this is a really cool environment, and I think it's a bit better than the default town, which as you'll see later on will be going below the A tier. So I think it's just like an upgraded version of the environment they added a few updates earlier, and for me it's going in the A tier. It's really cool, but it's not quite S tier. Okay, next up is the Showdown Desert environment, and for me this is going into the B tier. So as I sort of touched upon earlier, it's a bit better than the desert environment that's used in 3v3 bounty maps. I just think it suits the mode of Showdown more than it does 3v3. It's quite a basic one. It's obviously one of the original environments, but I think it's still pretty cool, and it's sort of average in the middle in the beta. Okay, next up is Mortis's Mortuary for Showdown, and that's going in the C tier. So that's the complete opposite end of the spectrum for my Gem Grab Mortis's Mortuary. I think it really suits Gem Grab, but I hate it in Showdown. It really doesn't suit it, and I think it's ruined some OG maps like Feast or Famine, because in the last update Feast or Famine came back, which is really good, but they brought it back with Mortis's Mortuary, and that sort of ruined the map for me. I really don't think Mortis's Mortuary suits Showdown, and that is why it's down in the C tier. Not quite F, because none of the environments are bad in the game, but it's sort of as bad as it can get. Okay, next up is the Siege environment. For me, this is into the A tier. The Siege environment, Siege Workshop, it looks really cool. It's got like the boxes along the side, it's got robots. I think it looks really cool. It's not quite into the S tier. Maybe that's because Siege isn't really my favourite mode. As you'll see in my last tier list video, I ranked it quite low. But for me, the environment it's actually played in is pretty cool, and that is why it is in the A tier. We're almost at the end now. We just got 3 more environments to do. Next up is the snowy Brawler Days environment that was used in the 2018 Brawler Days event. We've never seen it again, and for me, that's in the C tier. Now, the reasoning for this, well, a lot of people found it cool, but for me, I found it way too blue. It was just the whole ground was blue, all of the decorations were blue, and it was just sort of just bright blue in your face. I didn't really think it suited the game very well, and that's why it's in the C tier. However, there were a few cool things like that little campfire at the bottom, but it was alright, just not as good as the other newer environments in the game. Okay, the penultimate one now, and this is the newest environment in Brawl Stars, the Soccer Stadium, and that's going in the S tier for me. It looks so cool, it's got so many Easter eggs, like the scoreboard updates in real time as you're playing Brawl Ball, and the timer actually told us the date of when Pam's remodel was announced, and there's some other things in there as well, like there's a couple of birds and then like a date of 5 and 3 in a tally. And people are speculating that could mean Brawl Talk is released on the 3rd of the 5th. Well, no, if you're American, the 5/3, which is the 3rd of May. So people are speculating that that's an Easter egg that's telling us Brawl Talk's coming on the 3rd of May, or maybe some more update information is on the 3rd of May. But it seems quite plausible considering the timer. The 4/19 actually told us the date of Pam's remodel, so who knows, stay tuned for the 3rd of May, who knows what's coming. Anyway, back to the environment. It's really cool, I love all of the robots cheering for different teams on there, and the music's really cool as well, and overall it's one of the best environments in the game. Okay, the last one here is the town environment, and that's going in the B tier. As I touched upon earlier, I think Metropolis is just like an upgraded version of the town environment, and obviously the Lunar New Year version of it is a bit better as well, just because it's got those Lunar New Year decorations. Don't get me wrong, the town is still a very cool environment. I do like it within the game. It's just it's superseded by some more complex environments, some newer environments that just look and feel much better within the game. So that's all the environments put into a tier list here from S to F. Like the last video, I will leave the link for this tier maker tier list in the description below, and you can make your own version of this tier list and then tweet me a screenshot of it on Twitter, which is in the description, and you can also maybe send me the image on my Discord server, which is also linked in the description. And if you want to see any more tier list videos like this, let me know in the comments, give me some ideas for some tier lists to make. And if you have any other video ideas that I could do related to Brawl Stars, then make sure to leave them in the comments below. I'll be really interested in hearing your thoughts. And as always, make sure to leave a like on this video, share it with all your friends, and most importantly, subscribe with the notification bell on so you never miss another upload from me. And that being said, I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.